good at this reading, but I'll do my best. The NCAA has now spoken. I am overwhelmingly disappointed for our players and the SMU community that the NCAA has decided to punish them as a result of the unfortunate actions of one staff member who provided inappropriate help to one of our players. I remain proud of our entire program and our unwavering dedication to doing things the right way. Our compliance program is second to none. The NCAA's new rules dictate as head coach I am responsible for every member of our basketball staff. I accept that responsibility, but do not accept the appropriateness of the punishment. I could not ask for a better, more dedicated group of men and women. We'll move forward together to make this SMU community proud.
Bill?
Larry, a little timeline on this morning. When you found out, and how much time did you have before you met with the players, and then what was that meeting like?
Well, the timeline actually started yesterday morning. You know, Rick notified me that we're going to hear something about the NCAA findings, and so obviously yesterday was kind of long. I mean, it's been long since July 26th of last year. And then, you know, I got up this morning and got in real early. Rick and I talked yesterday about the fact that we needed to sit down and talk to our players once we heard what the penalty might be. We were all hopeful that, you know, it wouldn't be severe. I think 9:30 walking in that room was as difficult for all of us as anything I've ever encountered. You know, I tried to explain to the team what the punishment was. I singled out the seniors because they're impacted this by more than anybody. I had mentioned another school that had gone through some similar situation and how they persevered and handled it, and I was confident we would try to do the same. And I guess I talked to them about, you know, we've always been dealing with adversity in our lives, and can't think of anything any more severe than this, but we had to handle it and stay together, and we're going to move forward.
Friendship with WFA TV. Coach, can you walk us through the sequence of events which you admittedly lied to investigators?
I didn't lie to the investigators. During the course of the investigation, I was being interviewed by the NCAA, and they blindsided me with a question. I answered it, and after thinking about it a little while, I asked to be excused. I left the room for 60 seconds and came back and fully cooperated with the NCAA. I don't think that's a lie.
You admitted to lying.
I answered that question.
Next question.
Coach, are you saying that the administrative assistant acted alone, acted on her own volition in terms of taking this course and cheating for Keith Frazier?
I don't understand that.
I don't know how else to put it. Did the administrative assistant act alone?
In doing the course, I believe she did.
You didn't order her to do that?
Absolutely not.
Nobody from your staff?
Absolutely not. I was never asked that question by the NCAA, and I would answer it the same way if the NCAA answered it. Absolutely not. Did I instruct anybody to take a course for Keith Frazier? And I'm going to reiterate myself again about, I did not lie. I corrected a statement I made in 60 seconds and did the right thing.
Adam?
Adam Gross, FrontRifles.com. Coach, you mentioned how hard this is on the seniors. Is there any chance that they would be allowed to transfer?
I don't think so. You know, once they enrolled this fall semester, if the violation had come out and the penalty had come out before they enrolled, I believe they would have been allowed to play their senior year somewhere else. But once they enrolled in school, that option wasn't, you know, there for them.
Maria Davis, WDAP. What was the question that they asked you that you went out and came back and answered?
Wow. I'm not exactly sure, but it was, I think it had to do with somebody coming to me and telling me about what happened. And the reason I'm blindsided, when I found out about what happened, I told the parties involved to do the right thing. If I look back on it, you know, in hindsight, I wish I would have done more. So when the question was proposed to me, I was kind of surprised. And that's when I took a step back and asked to be excused and came back and corrected.
Mike Leslie from Channel 8. Coach, your administration, your president, Turner, said that you have his full support. Given the way that this has taken shape, given the history that you have with previous NCAA investigations, do you feel like you deserve that support?
Do I think I deserve his full support? That you'd have to ask him. If you want to look at past investigations, I think sometimes people look at NCAA violations and that term is pretty severe. UCLA, if you look back on it and read what happened there, the school asked to rehire me a few years later. I'm pretty proud of what I did at UCLA. If you look at what happened at Kansas, after I left Kansas, some of the finest NCAA institutions in the country vetted me and then offered me a job. Based on SMU's past history, I don't think they would ever have considered hiring me if they didn't have complete faith in me in running the type of program they could be proud of, and I have nothing to be ashamed of in any of those cases. I'm proud of the things we achieved. I'm proud of the program we ran. I'm proud of the kids that played for me. And I feel exactly the same way about SMU right now, except for the fact I'm really disappointed in what happened to our kids. They had nothing to do with it. I know the NCAA has rules and they have to follow those rules, but when it comes to these kids, none of them had anything to do with this. It's about one person and one isolated instance, and I think from that standpoint, our kids are being treated unfairly.
Brett?
Coach, in your statement earlier today, you said you're going to consider your options in terms of, whether to appeal. Would that decision be made in concert with the university? And is it possible that some aspects of this could be appealed, but other aspects not approved?
I'm not really bright in that regard, Brad, but I think I heard President Turner's comments, and from my perspective, he's gone through a lot. Just hearing him talk about me and his feelings for our kids and his support of me, I'm kind of going to sit back like he is and kind of weigh the options. I don't want to impact this program any more than it has been, but I think there's some things that I got to really look into before we make that decision.
Mike?
Coach, Mike Ducey from Fox 4. Has the thought of resignation entered your mind at all during this? Do you
No.
anticipate that entering your mind?
No, I think I got a lot of kids in that locker room that are counting on me. There are people that are working for me that, you know, need me to be around. I got a student body that's been unbelievably supportive and a faculty as well. And you heard the president. So I have no reason to think about that.
Kevin? Steve?
Larry, Stephen Hawkins with BP, as you mentioned just a moment ago, obviously SMU has a past history with NCAA. Do you think that in any way fairly or unfairly impacted this decision? I know there's a new structure and everything, but do you think that might have anything to do with all this?
I would hope not. That happened, what, 30-something years ago? You know, just like some of the things that are brought up about me that happened 25 years ago and nobody even read about them and really took the time to see what actually happened. I would hope not. I don't think, because, you know, we're talking about these 11 kids and this student body that's embraced us and the community that's embraced us. I can't imagine they would look back on what happened in the past and make a decision.
Steve?
Coach, considering the severity of the sanctions that were announced, you mentioned President Turner's support for you. Did that surprise you that he said you have his full support after this?
Well, I don't know how to answer that. I mean, he hired me. I was aware of what has gone on with this institution. I'm proud that I have had the opportunity to work for him. I love being here. I would expect, based on my relationship with him since the day I got here, that would be something he would say. To be honest with you, I don't think I've ever given him any reason not to say that.
Patrick?
Coach, have some schools that might not have started classes yet that are on quarter systems given any calls to your players about potentially transferring?
I haven't even gotten into that. You know, after I met with the players and Rick, as a group, I told them once I got through this day, I was going to sit down individually and talk to them. I'm confident that they love this school as much as I do, and want to be part of it, and we all want to move forward. But, you know, it's my responsibility to do what's best for them. So I'm going to support whatever decision they make.
Brad?
Coach, the program's obviously built a lot of momentum here in a short period of time. And no decision's been made on appealing, but if some or all these sanctions remain in place, how much could that hamstring the program going forward?
Well, we have a lot of great kids in this program. You know, obviously we're going to lose 3. You know, anytime you're hit with penalties this severe, you got to adjust and learn to deal with it. But we're going to move forward. This is only going to make us stronger. It's not going to affect kids coming in. It's not going to, it affects our seniors directly because of the postseason ban, and we don't know what's going to happen in that regard. It affects the other 8 kids that, you know, can't play in the NCAA tournament or the conference tournament. But we're gonna get through this. You know, like I said, some other institutions have faced a similar situation and they recovered, responded. This is just gonna make us stronger. We talked about this, we're a family. I can't think of anything bringing us together more than this. And I think kids that we've been recruiting are not gonna be affected by this at all. And I'm gonna make sure they're aware of that.
Coach Keith Frazier admitted to committing a pretty major violation. To what extent will he be held accountable?
I don't know how to answer that, Brad, about Keith Frazier admitting a major violation. I'm not privy to that.
It's in the report.
I wouldn't know how to answer that.
He is currently eligible
but
in good standing with the University of
Keith
NCAA.
Frazier is eligible to play. I thought the president said it the right way, that he was not ineligible based on anything the NCAA directed. The NCAA in this report didn't say anything about his eligibility being in question going forward. So I'm going to treat Keith like every one of the family. He's on progress to graduate, which I think is a major achievement based on what he's been through. He's going to be part of our team this year, and I'm hopeful he's going to get a degree next year.
Anything else?
And to what extent, Coach, do you take ownership of this entire ordeal?
Well, I'm the head coach. I represent this university and this basketball program. Everybody that works for me is somebody that's, you know, very close to me and I respect and trust. Under the new guidelines, with head coach's responsibility, I have to understand that. Do I agree with it? I'm not going to talk about that right now, but the whole essence for this new procedure is to hold people accountable. And the NCAA decided that it's a head coach's responsibility. If anybody in your program acts inappropriately, that you're responsible, and I accept that.